You see a lot of videos online sharing trades, but it's always after the fact. It's always what they're thinking in hindsight. Well, today I'm gonna get you inside of my head. I'm gonna let you see what I'm trading live. Before I place a trade, I'm gonna talk about my thoughts, why I'm even watching it. While I'm in the trade, I'm gonna just share what I'm thinking, the fears, the anxiety, because I still have that. It still happens. But also, I'm gonna make some mistakes in some of these trades that you're gonna be able to see, and it happens to all of us. So that way you know, even when you find consistency, you're still gonna find bumps in that road. As well as I'm gonna talk about how I take profits, why I take profits, and what I'm still working on to improve as a trader. And don't forget, if you're getting value from these videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I've answered a lot of your guys' questions recently about why I don't have a Discord room. Well, I have good news. We finally have a Discord room. The link is in the description. Make sure to join it. It's a lounge for like-minded individuals to meet others. This morning I was a little bit confused on Veru. Big picture, I like this as a short because we had an overextension from 5 to 17, cracked, pop and fail 1550, crack even more, pop to 1515, and today at first you can see I tried a long but cut it right away. Like I literally cut it for like not even a tenth of a loss, like just real small. I could be wrong here. I don't like my entry, but I did take full size. I'm risking high a day here at 1378, 77 or 75, and which is high a day. And the reason I'm risking that is because I want to take this time to say thank you to our sponsor, Cobra Trading. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be The Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show. We popped up to this zone here, wicked, failed, and I'm thinking we're holding our 13. It's possible we can crack the 12s, and if we crack the 12s, we're coming down to the 1070s, which is $2 a share, which is great. I'm not quite sure if that's indeed going to happen, but I do like the position itself, especially since we had a pop and failed up at this area. So this kind of tells me that because we popped and then failed up here, that this is where the resistance is at, and we should get a crack. If you compare that to AMD, AMD had a pullback, wick, and push. So I'm thinking we're going to have the same with Veru. And we will see. We will see. So Veru, we had this push up and this wick trying to go green. So because of that, I'm starting to add more size here, risking right above this wick. Tight risk because, I mean, if it holds and goes further, I think it's not going to, hold red. So I'm going to keep it tight here, smaller low loss. I went ahead and took a short on Carvana as well. And the reason I took a short on Carvana is because we popped up to this major resistance line, failed, and then after that failure we popped up again, failed again. So on this third pop I'm shorting, risking above high a day as of now. Ended up cutting Veru, and now I'm just short Carvana, and we'll see how this pans out. I went ahead and took a short on BABA as well, mainly because we tried to break high day, failed 3 times, 4 times, which is also major resistance. I'm a little late on the short, but I went ahead and shorted it when it pulled back. Risking high day on that one as well. Looking for profit targets below, in the 87 mark area. So right now, Carvana is now breaking this new trend line that just formed. And so I'm feeling fairly confident in this play to at least test the lows. Or not the lows, but if we look at this chart, probably the 41 area is what I'm looking for. So we will see if we can get that test. And if we look at BABA, this one's getting a little uncomfortable for me because, well, we're starting to form another trend line here. Now, this could be a good opportunity to add or even further confirmation if we break more heavy because we have a triple top, break a trend line, go into this trend line. It could be an indication that we were going to break this even more. So I'm sticking to the plan, but I am a little nervous about that. So CVNA, I ended up adding some more to my position on that pop. When we popped back up to 44, because we broke the trend line, I wanted to add. My risk is now right above 45.50, which means I can add some more if I get the opportunity. I'm covering at 41.50s for my initial cover. That's the plan here, so we'll see if we can get that drop. BABA is consolidating above this new trend line, so we'll see what happens here. So I went ahead and covered $1 a share gain on BABA, just a fifth of my size, holding the rest for this trend line down here. Carvana as well is starting to work out pretty nicely here. I covered only, I believe, a sixth of my size right here at this pivot. And I'm holding the rest for this low down here at 41s. I do have another fifth of my size being covered at $3 a share just because, why not? But I'm still holding the 41. The reason I'm holding the 41 is just in case it starts to break this other trend line here. We could test the lows of 37s. So I'm just trying to be open to that. Right now, I could see it testing at least this 41 mark is what I'm looking for. That's where I'll start to cover everything and I won't be upset about that. BABA, I cover everything around this area and I won't be upset about that either, but same situation. I'm thinking if this trend line cracks, then we could have a nice little panic to 85s. So I'm just trying to be a little patient on these plays here and let them work. I went ahead and covered CVNA, all of it. Had my price target, which I'm happy with. And now I'm just going to sit here and pay attention to BABA, which is my main play now. BABA is still working. I'm looking to cover half at 86.80. I'm hoping we can get that cover. And then I want to see what's going to happen when we test this level, this 86.60 mark. Because I do think this level is important. So I'm hoping we can get to that test and I can cover half at 86.80 and then cover the other half somewhere around here, or let it crack and cover, maybe 86, maybe even this 85.60. So we're gonna let it pan out. So right now I'm tempted to cover a little piece just because one thing I'm always working on is holding some price target, which I did on Carvana, but you see it did break. And now it's panicking. Right there, another $2 a share lost. That's gonna happen, and it sucks when it does. But BABA, it hasn't even hit my price target of 86.80. But I'm very tempted to cover a small piece. I still have 90% of my position. I may cover 10% right here just because it's just not making me so comfortable. I do know that usually when I do cover some, it usually gets my price target. So I'm just gonna try to be patient. If it does break above this 87.45, I will cover a small piece, just like a sixth of my position, and then still hold it for either a stop out or a continuation down. On this play though, I am gonna hold the other half. If we do get to 86.80 and I cover, I want to hold the other half for it to test this 86.60s. And for a test, I wanted to do what this did, like maybe one bounce then curl over. That's what I'll give it. So we will see if we get that opportunity. This one looked like it was about to get me my cover. It went to 86.90, but then I already bounced. So we'll see. We will see. So I went ahead and covered it. I was looking for 86.80, went to 86.90. I took it there. 10 cents from my cover that I wanted, that's fine. Completely fine with that. I don't want to get overly picky. But now I feel more comfortable to hold. I'm going to hold. I can hold this for a bounce and be okay. So I want to give it some more time and see what happens. As of right now, my stop is now 88.50. I may move my stop to 88, depending on what happens. But for now, I mean, I'd move it to 88 if we get like a pullback down to the lows. But if we just get consolidation here and push, I'm going to keep it at 88.50 and see if we end up holding this previous pivot right here. Because if we break above 88.50, I'll just get out, and the other half of my position will be break even because I'm in an 88.56 average. So I would move to 88, but I'd love for it to fail at 88 a couple more times. That is the green red area, as you can see on this chart. So I'm hoping that we can get a pop up here, fail, then I can move to 88. But if we just get a consolidation here, I'm gonna have to keep at 88.50 for now. I ended up changing my risk to 88. Slightly above 88, 88.01, 88.02, because we had this pullback near low a day of the previous pivot and then push. So at that point, I don't want to hold it past 88, and now we're getting another pullback. Definitely going to stop out above 88, which is great. If I end up stopping out, I have a 50-cent gain on my remaining half. But if we do crack, I think we're going to go. So I'm going to stay patient. I went ahead and covered just a small piece. A quarter of my remaining shares right at this trend line. I want to see if we're going to crack, because if we crack, we're going to have a nice little pull. So currently we are now holding this downtrend line, which is now my new pivot point of where I'll be stopping out, which in this case is $1 a share gain, because if we zoom in here, this is 87.45. So that's my new stop. I'll do 87.50, and that means on this last remaining portion I will take it off for $1 a share gain since I'm in an 88.56. So we will let this thing pan out and do its thing, but now I feel real comfortable. I can hold this for a stop out for $1 gain, or see if it cracks and get us an additional $2 to $3. So I ended up cutting the trade once it broke above my 87.50 mark, which is what I mentioned earlier, and I'm done with the trade for the day. And BABA, along with CVNA, even though I covered right here, ended up making my day after calling Beru wrong. You know, I was just going long first, and then I went short, and I would have been right long, but then I went short and then was wrong. But keeping the loss small is important to me. And I think that's something you're able to see here, because if not, then these trades wouldn't have worked out as well as they did. If you look at AMD, it's another one. I went long here at 93, I think 20. Actually, if you go to AMD chart, and got stopped out. I went long, got stopped out, and then it skyrocketed. So sometimes that happens, and I was too tight of risk today. But I adjusted, and I did get a little aggravated, but instead of letting that get into my head, I just went forward and saw two other plays, see Carvana and Alibaba, and those worked out. So good luck.